What up everybody, it's iPadBeatmaking.com and I have a confession to make. You remember when I said in another video, introductory pricing, save 33% on 70 award-winning mixing and creative effects? Well, it turns out
that was a lie.
And I'm so tempted to run backstage right now with my iPad in hand, because if you go to the App Store today, you will see that my lie has totally been exposed. It now says save 50% on 70 award-winning plugins. So, does that mean it's actually cheaper now, since it initially was like 33% off? Well, that was my first impression, but no, it isn't cheaper because the price hasn't changed. So this can only mean one thing, that the price has gone up.
Really struggling with pricing.
Every time a new client comes in, you must raise your prices.
I think I want to focus on mindset a little bit.
I would like to raise the prices, but also I have a fear of losing all of my clients.
In fact, it is at least doubled from $40 up to $80, and if I were a betting man, I would say it just begs to be shot up to $100. And I believe it'll be way too tempting to pass up pricing it at $100 at some point, especially because they've got the market cornered. There's nothing else like this on iOS. And if you're a serious musician, this is the tool to have. So if you ever want this app, you've got 3 options and soon you'll only have 2, so you need to act fast. Option 1 is get to your app store right now and grab this app at the $40 price point. Now IK Multimedia has not said when it'll go up, but they say it will probably go up shortly, so you should act as fast as possible. Now option 2, if you're Mr. or Mrs. Moneybags, is to wait until it goes up and grab it for at least $80. And option 3 is to join the iPad beatmaking contest to possibly win the app, and all you need to do is make a beat that's any genre using at least 2 to 3 elements from a iPadBeatmaking.com kit, either the free kits or the paid kits. And if you don't have any of those kits, be sure to go to iPadBeatmaking.com and download them. And you need to also screen record at least your beat being played, but preferably your workflow and things like that, so that we can kind of get a walkthrough of how you did what you did, you know. But if all you want to do is play it back, you can do that too. And you gotta submit it before December 9th so that we have a chance to review all the submissions and then announce them on Friday's episode of the news. Now, one more thing that we didn't say in the other video about this contest: you will have 6 days from the announcement of the winner to claim your MixBox prize. If you do not claim it, it will get reshuffled and we will do this all again. Now, in any case though, I want to reiterate that this product is absolutely incredible, and after this video I'll actually be playing the video where I made a beat and recorded some vocals and used MixBox as the primary effects module for all the stuff I was working on using the iPadBeatmaking.com kits. I worked in NanoStudio too, and then I went ahead and shot to Cubasis 3 to record the vocals, and I ran a little chain, just a random preset that was available within MixBox. I didn't really do much tweaking to it, and I want to just give you my initial impression of the app. It is absolutely incredible. There's never been something like this available for iOS. What I really love about it as well, aside from the fact that you've got this huge suite of plugins at your fingertips, some of my favorites including the Neve, including the LA2A stuff, is the fact that you are able to create a chain that you like, something that you really find satisfying, and you can take it into any DAW, no problem, slap that exact same preset on whatever, and it just works. So it allows you to go DAW to DAW without feeling tethered or constrained, or like you got to go through its weird plugin menus and reordering plugins. It might do, it might not do. You can just go straight in and do what you do. That's what I really love about MixBox, aside from its incredible sounding suite of modules. So, do I feel like it's worth the money? I absolutely feel like it's worth the money. I feel like it's worth it at $40, I feel like it's worth it at $80, and I feel like it's worth it at $100. I know that's controversial, I know it's blasphemous to some of y'all who are balling on a budget, but let me explain my thesis. It's $300 on desktop. Even if it's $100 on iOS, you're still only paying a third for the exact same software. And it's not like you're limited to the types of interfaces you can really use on an iPad. We are able to now get the world-class interfaces as well. We can use the Apogee Symphony desktop, we can use the Motu M4, and so many variants in between that. Even the SSL one works on iPad. So you can really get high quality sounds in with no problem. With that being said, I know a lot of people want to know, what about FabFilter plugins? Should I get this or FabFilter plugins? Two totally different types of vehicles to get to where you're going. FabFilter is precision, is accuracy, is mastering. It doesn't really impart a sound, and that's great, but they're not necessarily musical, right? They're for accuracy and things like that. These plugins are musical. They're designed to give character, tone, richness, warmth, whatever character you're searching for, you will find it within the MixBox plugins. And I am a character person. I like for my vocals to have some character to them when I'm recording in the studio or recording an artist. And I also like my instruments and things like that to have character, little subtle things that just give it some life, you know? And this is why it was so hard for digital to initially catch on. I don't know how old some of y'all are. Back in the early 2000s, there was this huge debate about whether people should still use tape machines and large format consoles, despite how inconvenient they were, versus the convenience of digital. And the problem that people always arrived at was they felt like digital sounded too thin. So you had certain people who were going crazy. They would record it digitally and then run it through a tape machine and then run it back into the digital domain. I mean, it was nuts until the plugins came along that allowed you to be completely in the box, because people wanted that analog feel. So you had other companies coming up with SSL, Neve, API, tape machine emulations, things like that. And eventually we were all able to stay digital and stay in the box with these convenient footprints. And now that's evolved to another level. With IK Multimedia releasing this, we now can do this on our iPad. I mean, that is incredible. So with all that being said, it's totally worth it. I would recommend everybody who is serious about actually getting like placements on their music. If you just want to fiddle, I mean, it's fun, it's cool. And in that situation, I would say there's no reason to spend the $40 or the $80 if it will hurt you, if you're just messing around with the music. But if you actually want to take it seriously and hopefully get placed somewhere or release your music in any form or fashion, I'm not saying you need to blow up on the radio or YouTube or whatever. I'm just saying that if you plan to release it, your music will sound better when you get a harness on these plugins. That guitar you got, if you play guitar or bass, running it through these plugin chains, you will probably find that things sound ways that you didn't expect them to sound. Also, your vocal chain. You might not have ever thought to try the kind of vocal chains that you get with this app, and it might help you make different decisions when you're mixing or going into recording, because you see the presets give you such a unique perspective on how to actually format and arrange your plugins that you wouldn't have done otherwise until you saw the IK Multimedia MixBox presets. And that's another thing. It's like a master class in kind of arranging the 500 modules because it had so many presets. If there were no presets, yeah, this would be very capable, but it would be so much work involved to kind of getting to a chain that sounds good. I could easily see maybe it's not worth it for the average person, because the average person doesn't have the technical ability to go through and experiment with it, and that could lead to some disastrous results. But with this having the presets already built in and being able to just set things and not even think twice about it, that in itself is worth it, because it's like someone's there doing everything for you. All you got to do is push a button and you're ready to go. I know it's a bit long-winded, but I really want to emphasize how incredible this app is, and I want people who really appreciate iOS music app development and making music on iOS to take advantage of this app while you can get it at this great price. I know people are stressed right now. Everyone's stressed during the holidays because we're busy trying to do for others and also potentially risking our own station in life and our situation while we're doing it. But if you could just for a moment have this one thing, I think is worth it. If you say, you know what, I'm doing one more app before the year is over, I think this is the app to get. Seriously, no cap. I'm not paid by IK or nothing funny like that. I just really mean it. It's an incredibly capable app, and I recommend that everybody get their hands on it who's able to. And that's my real take about it. I know in other videos, you know, how come you didn't actually elaborate on what you thought about it, what you felt about it? Well, the fact of the matter is I wasn't experienced at that initial time with that app. I just discovered it and wanted to share the fact that we've got access to this on iOS now. I thought it was a huge deal. Now I've had some time to actually play with it through the weekend, and I can't recommend this app enough. It is truly probably the best app of 2020. Seriously. So, all that being said, I know that that's a very, very long-winded review that was kind of unplanned, almost sounds like a rant. But with that said, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. I'm gonna play the video now where I actually had writer's block but used MixBox to overcome that, along with Unison and some other stuff with the iPad beatmaking.com kits. and then actually went into Cubasis and recorded some vocals, ran them through MixBox, and you'll hear the result. Don't laugh too bad at me for that AudioTune. But anyways, with all that being said, the video is about to start now. It's iPadbeatmaking.com. Peace. What up, everybody? It's iPadbeatmaking.com, and today I'm not feeling creative, but I want to create, you know? So I got the Unison Chord bundle. I know it's controversial. I know some people consider this a cheat code and all that other stuff, and other people have personal feelings. But all that aside, I wanted to try out actually getting a MIDI pack because I've never done it before, and I want to see how does it work with progressions and things like that. Does it inspire me to create differently than I normally would have? Is it a waste of money? Is it worth the money? And on top of that, I also want to kind of explore MixBox, try it as I'm composing a little bit, see if it inspires some different sounds, some different decision making, and hopefully by the end of all of this, I'll feel comfortable enough to get on these vocals, maybe put some AudioTune on the voice, see where we could take it from there while using MixBox as the main or only part of the vocal chain outside of AudioTune. So let's see how that goes. And again, if you enjoy content like this, be sure to hit the like button, as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the latest news, tips, tricks, tutorials, beats, etc., etc. Alright, so I pretty much got my chord progression picked out. I like this one, but I'm working in double time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop all the different chords up individually, and then I'm going to stretch them out so that way I can kind of slow the progression down a little bit and see if we have something to work with. Also, while I'm chopping them up, I might switch the order of them and things like that so that I can kind of make them my own. And another thing I'm doing is I'm getting the MixBox app out early, and I'm gonna switch the sound. I just had it on the piano sound just as a reference to the MIDI progression chords, but now I'm using another sound from Trap Kit 2. And now I've got to figure out which one of these progressions is gonna end the measure off. Alright, I think we got it. Let's get some drums from Trap Kit 2. And back in Trap Kit 2 on the instrument Obsidian side of the kit. I'm using this bell as kind of just a reference to play the notes, but I'm thinking I'm gonna switch the sound out. Alright, so I think that sound works. What I'm doing now is I'm going to copy and paste the MIDI notes, and I'm going to take out all of the higher levels of the chord, the upper octaves of it, and I'm just going to leave the root note or the bass notes only. And I'm eventually going to use these as my guide on building out the bass line of the 808s that I'm going to use. We'll get back to that, but for now, I'm going to move on and do more drums. Okay, now that that's done, we can start to work on our 808 and how we're going to get it to come together. It's a little high right now because, again, the root note was at the ones of the octave, and we want to bring them down to the 0 in this case to give them some more depth. Okay, so we've got our depth now. It's a lot more boomy. Also, the notes appear to be on, but it's a little bit boring if we're being honest. So try to add a little bit of variation to the notes. Also, I'm in the 808 engine now, and I'm pulling down the release, so that way as soon as I let go of the note, it will stop immediately, which will hopefully give a cool feel to the track. And I'm going to speed this up for you, but basically I'm testing out different combinations of the 808 by either drawing them in with a pencil or just hitting duplicate until I stumble across something that I think is right. Because I've got the root notes, I kind of can't go wrong. Note-wise, it's just about the bounce. Okay, so the note that's an octave up is doing too much right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change that, but I'm definitely loving how MixBox has that 808 sounding with just a couple preset changes. I really like the way it sounds in conjunction with the 808 engine. So now I'm adding those notes, and here we go. Alright, so that's not too bad. Now I'm going to open up MixBox and use a preset out of the West Coast kit and see what we can make it sound like. Just layering the beat for other parts of the arrangement, and now I'm adding in another layer of hi-hats just to kind of give a little bit of feel, make the beat sound a little bigger. Maybe I'll put some effects on this. And I think our work here is pretty much done. If I was feeling more creative right now, maybe I would do a lot more with this, maybe not. But I feel pretty accomplished that we were able to get all this done from the initial chord progressions that we got out the Unison pack. And now we're heading over to Cubasis, where we're gonna just try to track some vocals, put the AudioTune on the voice and the vocal chain. I'm not even gonna run MixBox through a bus like I usually would. All of my vocal plugins, I would usually put them in a group or a bus. But in this case, I'm just gonna run MixBus right on there. I'm not gonna do much tweaking at all. I'm just gonna slap a preset on there. Maybe adjust the compression slightly, but just do a freestyle take, see what comes to mind. But before I even get started on that, I've gotta go into AudioTune and set up the key that the beat is in. The key of the beat is in F, so I'm going to go through the different settings on AudioTune and see kind of roughly what sounds okay as I practice. So the first track was the practice track, and now we're just gonna freestyle since we know we're in key and see what we come up with.
I'm feeling your vibe, you do it so right. When you by my side, I'm living my best life. AudioTune and MixBox. Like, ooh, what's this box? Yeah. Did it for you too, baby. I'll do it for you too. Freestyling on the mic, don't know where I'ma go. Living this life, no one wants to be alone. Feeling your vibe, I thought I just stated that. So feeling your vibe, I figured I'd create a track. Yeah, I'm feeling your vibe, you do it so right. When you by my side, I'm living my best life. Yeah. I'm feeling your vibe, you do it so right. When you by my side, I'm living my best life.
Now, I hope that wasn't too bad and that y'all don't roast me in the comments too much, but I haven't had any time to really get creative and get into any musical flows, been so busy. But with tools like this, I think it just goes to show that it doesn't take much to get something started, right? So we took a chord progression template in Unison and brought it into NanoStudio 2 and just kind of built it up in conjunction with the Trap Kit 2 and the West Coast kit. Along with MixBox, we were able to kind of get something going with a little bit of feel that was pretty cool. And then we brought it over to Cubasis 3, got the AudioTune locked in, made sure everything was in the right key, and then just slapped some random preset on MixBox. I think it was like female EDM or something like that. But needless to say, it didn't take much to get a decent feeling situation, something that doesn't sound too bad. And now I can maybe go back and refine it, rework it if I want to get into the mix phase, if I want to get into the real writing phase. If I was to do more than one take, I'm sure things would sound much better, to me at least. So the fact that we are able to, with such minimal effort, get something done fast, where it doesn't take being in a room dedicated to making music, you can just do these kind of things anywhere. You can put MIDI progressions together on an iPad or iPhone, sitting on a couch, laying in a bed, being in a car in between situations if you're working through your car. There's just so much that you can do. So I'm really floored by really MixBox overall. I think it totally delivers for the $40. You just can't beat it. It's gonna go up from $40, 33% more. If you haven't, be sure to check it out. Jump on it. Check out my video actually going through the different presets, so that way you can get a better assessment of if it is for you, your workflow, and your situation. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with the results of not really having a plan going in, just freestyling, literally, no pen, no paper, no nothing, just freestyling what came to my head first. I think it sounds okay. So taking the time to really construct something, I believe you could have some incredible results. But anyways, with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you aren't subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the latest news, tips, tricks, beats, sales, updates, etc., etc. And be sure to check out iPadbeatmaking.com for the best sound kits on iOS. All of the sounds that were used in this video are on that website, so be sure to check those out. And with that said, it's iPadbeatmaking.com. Peace.